Imagine you're walking on the beach under stormy skies. Suddenly, you notice a huge, spindly-legged creature ambling over the sand coming towards you. It sounds like a scene out of a fantasy novel, but in fact, artist Theo Jansen has made this a reality with his kinetic sculptures called Strandbeesten. Jansen is a Dutch artist who's been working on his beach animals since 1990. He considers them a new life form, albeit an artificial one, a fusion of art and engineering intended to help preserve the dunes of Netherlands beaches. They can move independently, and some are even designed to store air pressure or anchor themselves against stormy weather. These artificial life forms have evolved over the years. Jansen arranges his work into evolutionary periods, chorda, vaporum, cerebrum, as well as into families. Not only the overall shape of the Strandbeest, but also the fins or feathers that catch the wind and even their systems have developed over time. But what hasn't changed much is the materials Jansen uses to create them. The Strandbeesten are almost entirely made out of plastic, with the largest portions of their bodies made with sections of PVC pipe. Jansen drills holes in the pipes, attaching them to one another through a variety of means, including plastic zip ties. Other materials include rubber tubes and plastic bottles, which are used to pressurize air, allowing the creatures to move, even when the wind dies down. However, the most important part of the Strandbeest may very well be its legs. If you've ever been to the dunes at Hongerels, or out in the Gobi, or even the beach at Hoofschool Lake, you probably realize sand isn't the easiest surface to walk on. In order to create the legs that allow his beasts to walk, Jansen designed a computer program that calculated measurements for the lengths of the pieces of the legs, giving them the smoothest possible gait. The up, down, and forward motion of the legs allow them to walk even over unstable surfaces. For the rest of today's class, you're going to be doing some research and some sketching. You may want to work with a partner in order to observe the movements of the human body. Or instead, you might want to look at YouTube videos of athletes or animals. Whatever you choose to do, though, it's important to work from observation so that you can get an idea of what the body of your subject is doing exactly. That way, you can recreate those movements in your sculpture. You may also want to look for anatomy resources that show you how the different kinds of joints connect bones and what sorts of motions these produce. You'll use this knowledge to create sketches that will help you to produce a kinetic sculpture using the principles in Jansen's work. You'll be using materials similar to Jansen in our next class when you'll start putting your ideas into practice. You'll have drinking straws, rubber bands, and brads to use. Refer to your sketches and experiment with different ways to attach your materials. You'll probably need to do some cutting or possibly make some holes in your straws. Think about proportions as you cut the pieces you need. Although we are experimenting right now, you'll get a better idea of how your finished sculpture will move if you pay attention to the lengths of the pieces you cut. You should be able to use scissors to do your cutting since we're using straws, but sometimes a knife may be a better tool. Remember our classroom rules for cutting, making sure to cut away from yourself and to cut against a safe surface. There are definitely multiple ways to create your joints, so experiment and try different things. For this part of the unit, I want to see not only that you understand some of the ways that Jansen works, but that you can take his art as a starting point and go in your own direction with it.